Driving in Nairobi is about mental. Actually, it's not physical, it's mental. And instead of knowing how to where to take their issues, they'll bring it on you. I would like the public to sincerely consider us, the e-hailing, as a platform that can have its own voice. My name is Antonia Mboro. I'm a taxi driver or online hailing. I do it as my full-time job, where they call it Uber. We Uber people around Nairobi, not necessarily because it's Uber, but it's because Kenyans love to call it Uber. It's just online taxi. So that's what I do as my daily job. And yeah, I'm a mother of 3 children, and I take care of them as I work. So basically that's what I do for a living. Yes. Okay, my day starts as early as 5:45, where I have to wake up because I have a small child who I have to prepare and take to school. Unfortunately, I cannot have a help in the house by choice. So I decide to prepare my child early in the morning to take to school. So my child is always in school by 6:30. Then I get to work. That's where my day starts. And it starts where I am because it's online. So I just go online and first request and wherever it takes me. So during the day I can move around anywhere. But at night, I choose where to go because of security and not too far because I have to go home again and take care of the child. So basically, my day starts at 5:45 and ends around 10:30 in the night. On weekends, mostly there is work at night. So sometimes I'll go up to around 12 midnight, but now I will not start the day as early as that on weekends. My day will start at about 10. That's 10 a.m. in the morning. I leave when I've prepared the child to be left at home alone as I go to work. So I'll be back at around 12 in the night. We have peak hours and we also have low hours during the day. In the morning, when people are rushing to work, mostly there is a work to do. So you can get requests as fast as 10 minutes or drop and pick. But during the day from about 10 o'clock to around 2, the online is slow because that's when because most people who use taxi are people going to offices. That time they're settled in the office, so it's quite slow. You can wait up to about an hour or 45 minutes waiting for another request. And in the evening, it picks from 3 o'clock when people now are going back home and up to about 8:30, 9. So we have a waiting time of about 1 hour waiting there to get another client or a customer. Generally, it's a good job, especially for ladies, because it gives you a chance to feel empowered. It also makes you not borrow a lot. So you have a daily income, however much small it is, you're able to take care of yourself and the family that you have. Then it's very tiring because you have to work long hours seated. And for me as a lady, it ends up making me gain a lot of weight because of sitting all the day. And when you have a chance to stand, you can't leave your car anywhere. So it gives you a lot of sitting time where you have to move around. It's also very tiring and works a lot on our backs because, as you know, sitting, and it really gives us a lot of back problems. Physically, it's very draining, and you have to be willing to do it. And it works well if you love driving, because working in Nairobi is not a joke. Moving around matatus, mkokoteni, bicycles, I mean, all city council, police, trying to juggle all that in a day, it's not an easy job. So by the end of the day, mentally, you are tired. You don't even want to do anything else. So you'll find many drivers are very exhausted, because driving in Nairobi is about mental. Actually, it's not physical, it's mental. It's very, very tiring because of juggling between different things at different times. Our roads are rough. Sometimes you get potholes. You have to look out for a pedestrian crossing. There are cows crossing on the road. There's a madman just crossing. I mean, in Nairobi, it's just chaos. So mentally, it's very draining. Psychologically, it's a customer that we get. Sometimes people have issues. People are going through a lot. And for you to get a customer who is just calm, it's nowadays is close to impossible, because you'll find customers who come into the car and they have their own issues. And instead of knowing how to where to take their issues, they'll bring it on you. So you end up being a counselor the whole day, or a parent to a child who is just want to vent, or a marriage counselor to a family, to a man who's going through a separation or something. I mean, I was making a joke the other day, and I was saying we should be given counseling allowances, because the things we do in those cars, I mean, a stranger will just come and pour out what they are going through. But basically, I would say it's a very tiring job in Nairobi. At the end of the day, you don't want anything else. And that reduces us to not being very good readers. You know, you need to read. We don't read, because how can I even take a book to read when I'm so tired? My mind is so tired. You go home, if there are questions to be answered, homework to do for the children, sometimes we are not able, because it's tiring. It's very, very tiring. But so far, so good. I would love people to understand that e-hailing is a job like any other job. It's a job that I wake up to and go just like any person going to their office. If I do it 24 hours, that means it pays my bills, it feeds me, it clothes me. So mostly in Kenya, people have not appreciated the job because of the culture that we had there before of taxi. And especially being a woman driver in Nairobi, you are considered to be someone else. You're not only doing the taxi work. There is something else you're doing. Sorry to say, many people thought that when you're doing that, it's meant for it's for prostitutes or something. You're doing another job in it. But I want people to understand that this is a job that I do from morning to evening, and many other ladies who are doing it. We wake up to those jobs, and it gives us money. So we don't just wake up to move around with a car in Nairobi. We are not there because we are desperate. Many people think we are desperate. That's when why you're doing that job. No, it's an investment like any other. It's something that many drivers have invested for them to grow their families. So many dependents are depending on the drivers in Nairobi or in Kenya. So I would like people to know that this is a job like any other. It doesn't matter what you think or how you look at it, but people need to change the notion that a driver is just a driver. A driver is not just a driver. A taxi driver is a driver who is working to make ends meet like any other person working in the office. Yes. One, being a woman, you're vulnerable to so many other things. And many people think that when you're a woman driving, you will be night. So the first thing people will get into the car and they'll ask you, are you safe? I mean, I'm safe because I'm driving. It's not a job. It's not a job where you come to be intimidated. It's a job like any other. And many people, especially women, I would say that. I would comfortably talk about it. Women take as women, they view us as drivers in a different way. They look at us like a threat. I don't know why. I would love to, I wish I could explain it better, but every time a woman comes, most women, I'm not talking about all, most women come into our cars, they will always cause problems. You will always have a fight at the end of the trip or at the beginning of the trip. Because the minute they see it's a woman, they think they can move you around the way they feel like. The way they... And I think this happens because they have not appreciated that this is a job like any other. So when I come to pick you, I'm not a threat. I've come to pick you because you requested a ride like any other. Then we get so much of, you hear a female saying, I prefer male drivers. And this is because, of course, a man will entertain a woman. And maybe I may not be able to take a lot of your here and there. So many times we get challenges from women. They'll abuse us, they'll refuse to pay, especially drunk women. And that gives us a big challenge. Another thing is we get a lot of intimidation on the road because this is a male-dominated job. So the male use their masculine to intimidate us, especially the matatus, the lorries, and every time you pass by a man, they must say something. For example, where mama endesha gari, you know, it's like you are not supposed to be on the road. So we find it very hard every time you want to maneuver around Nairobi especially, and you're being intimidated by men. Every time they see a female driver now, they want to cut you. They don't believe we can be drivers. They don't believe we are supposed to be. And in most cases, we are better drivers than men because we are more careful and we can drive safely than many other people. But in most cases, it's just not getting people to pay us at the end of the trip, because they think there's nothing you can do. I mean, I won't pay you, utafanya. Then you'll get someone who has their own issues and they want to bring them on you. Many times you'll get into fights, you'll get into quarrels. So, but basically, it's intimidation. Nothing much, just intimidation. In that hailing industry, I would specifically pull out the definition of e-hailing, online taxi. Or, I mean, we should be recognized as employees like any other business in Nairobi. I mean, we are bringing income. We are bringing money into the country. We are working to move people around. We are using the roads. We are being taxed. So I think the definition of an employer should really be considered when they are considering. If you look at the way the employer has been defined, we are not part of it. And I guess this is because e-hailing came later when the bill had been passed. So I would pray that this bill just passes and defines who an e-hailing employee is, rather than just calling us drivers. And we are not just drivers, we are online drivers. I can decide when to work, when not to work. And that, I think, gives a lot of problems when they're defining who we are, because generally nobody has defined us. What do? They only know we are taxis that move around Nairobi. But if I go to NTSA today, I don't think they'll have a tangible way of defining who I am. So I would love the bill to define correctly who we are and give us rules and roles that can, every time we have an issue, we are able to stand and say that this is who we are and we are covered by this department. So that would be my wish. I would love them to support us fully and look at it like an job like any other. And when the bill is passed and they're called for public participation, I would love them to come and support it, because we are working, and we are not only working for us, we are working for even the generation to come. Your child or your niece or your nephew may be the next driver tomorrow. So support us as much as you can, because this is a job like any other. And if we are supported fully, we can make it a real-time job for any person, so that it's easier to get into the job and get out. And no app will intimidate you, as long as there are rules and rules that are set, and it's already a bill. But as long as it's not a bill, it's very hard to get it to the industry. So mine would just be support the bill. If we are put inside there, support us as employees, support us as e-hailing. And when you do that, you are supporting us and the generation to come. This gives us a platform to stand on. Right now, we don't stand on anything. We are just placed as PSV drivers, as nobody knows who we are. And TSA does not really know who we are. So every other online company that comes in just gives us rule the way they want. They can manipulate us the way they want, because nobody stands for us. So if it's made a bill, the value is that we are going to be recognized, we are going to have a value, and a voice in demanding for what we want and saying what we want. But any other company coming in will just move us around right now, because where can you take them? No bill supports us. Nobody knows who we are. When we are taken to the taxi, we belong there. When we are taken to the matatu industry, we are there because we are PSV. So the value is we are going to have a ground to stand on, and something to define us that makes us more vocal in the industry. Yes. I would like the public, and especially the lawmakers, to sincerely consider us, the e-hailing, as a platform that can have its own voice, that can have its own feet standing on, not just being, not just any company coming in and trying to maneuver drivers the way they want. We would love the lawmakers to sincerely consider us, because tomorrow it could be anyone. So my parting shot would be, I'm talking to the lawmakers, because they are the ones who can help us in this. They can consider us as e-hailing, and consider and define correctly who the e-hailing is. And from there, I think we are going to be the best and one of the best digital platforms that they have ever made.